Happy December, Harambee family. Welcome to your Wednesday refresh. I am Rev Melissa. I am the spiritual director, senior minister at Rockland Centers for Spiritual Living in New York. And I am grateful to serve on the Wednesday refresh team. And so for December, you will be seeing Jacqueline Edwards, Deborah Gale, Carolyn Douglas, and Tracy Brown. Harambee is an online community where you can meet, see, hear, and uplift Black folks who are involved in the Centers for Spiritual Living. We practice and teach science of mind. So, the CSL theme for December is living as wholeness. So, the Wednesday refresh serves as our take on the CSL's themes and topics for each month and each Sunday. I think living as wholeness is the perfect theme to end 2023. So we kick off this month with the topic embracing wholeness. Embracing wholeness. So you'll know that I like to start the topics off the beginning of the month, the theme off for the beginning of the month with defining of terms. So we have embracing wholeness. So embrace means to avail oneself of, to receive gladly or eagerly, and to accept willingly. So keep in mind to avail oneself of. Okay? All right. The origin of the word embrace means pair of arms. Pair of arms. Just visualize that. Okay? Then wholeness. Wholeness. Wholeness means the state or condition of being not broken, injured, or damaged, intact condition. So we often say in New Thought Science of Mind that there is a place within us that has never been hurt, harmed, or endangered. And that place is wholeness. Yes? And the origins of the word wholeness means a state of healing. So when we're embracing wholeness, we are availing ourselves to a state of healing. All right. So that's where we're working from for this Wednesday refresh take on the Sunday topic, embracing oneness or embracing wholeness. And it's funny because throughout Sunday, when I was preparing for my talk on Sunday, I kept substituting the word wholeness for oneness, just like I just did. And so we can also think about wholeness as oneness. So embracing oneness is the act of wholeness. All right. So we're visualizing a pair of loving arms all around us. It's like when you see somebody and they give you that hug that you just sink into and it makes you take a really deep breath. That's what embracing wholeness feels like. And it's really important to have the feeling tone of things, right? It's not just thinking, it's also the feeling tone, right? The science of mind and spirit is what we are all about. So, I want to talk about embracing wholeness using a parable from the Bible. So, I think a great example of living as wholeness is from our brother Jesus. He was a master practitioner and teacher, and he lived the principle of wholeness. I think we can all agree with that. And recently I heard Brother Rodney Giddens share that Law is an acronym that means he gave law the meaning living as wholeness. And I love that acronym. So when we think about law, we could think of living as wholeness. So thank you, Rodney, for that. I love that. So the parable that I'm going to talk about today is from John 5, John chapter 5. And it's the parable of the paralyzed man by the pool. So I'm referencing the parable from this book, this Bible. It is from the ancient Eastern text by George M. Lamsa's translation. So that's the Bible that I'm using because different Bibles translate differently and use different words. So I just want to let y'all know where I'm coming from. So here's the parable. St. John number 5, chapter 5. Now there at Jerusalem a baptism pool. Now there was at Jerusalem a baptism pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, which having 5 entrances. So in some translation, it is 5 porches, right? Or 5 canopies. This Bible references as 5 entrances. And at these entrances, a great many sick people were lying, the blind, the lame, and the crippled, and they were waiting for the water to be stirred up. For an angel of God went down at a certain time to the baptismal pool and stirred up the water. And whoever went in first after the stirring of the water was healed of any disease he had. Now, there was a man was there who had been sick for 38 years. Jesus saw this man laying down and he knew he had been waiting for a long time. So he said to him, "Do you wish to be healed?" The sick man answered, saying, "Yes, Lord, but I have no man when the water is stirred up to put me into the baptismal pool. But while I am coming, another one goes in before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your quilt and walk." And the man was healed immediately. And he got up and he took up his quilt and walked. And that day was the Sabbath. Now, y'all, let's unpack this a little bit. So, the man was sick. It is believed that the man was paralyzed, that he could not walk on his own, right? And he had been coming to this baptismal pool, waiting there for 38 years to get into this pool when the angel came down to stir up the water. And whoever got in the pool first was healed. So if you got in the pool second, third, fourth, you wasn't healed. You had to be the first one in the pool to get healed. So this man had been doing this, waiting for 38 years to be healed. Now, let's think about this. 38 years, paralyzed, waiting to be healed. So we could think about this and apply it to our own lives, right? How have we been paralyzed in our own lives? How long have you been stuck? How long have you been waiting to live as the wholeness that you are? Right? Some of us are paralyzed by doubt and fear and worry. Some of us are paralyzed by the past. Some of us are paralyzed by the future, right? What are you paralyzed by that is keeping you stuck in your life? What limiting beliefs are paralyzing you from stepping into rising up, right? rising up and taking that walk into the wholeness that you are, right? So when Jesus asked him, do you wish to be healed? And in other Bibles, it's translated as, do you want to get well, or wilt thou be made whole? Wilt thou be made whole? And what did the man say? The man said, yes, my Lord. Yes, my Lord. And then do you recall the next word out of the man's mouth? Let me say it to you. Jesus asked him, do you want to be healed? Do you want to be made whole? And the man said, yes, my Lord, but I have no man when the water is stirred up to put me into the baptismal pool. While I am coming, another one goes in before me. But when I'm coming, another one goes in me before me. So the man said, yes, Lord, I want to be healed. And then the next word was what? But. The next word was but. Now we could translate the but into what had happened was, right? What had happened was I was waiting by the pool for 38 years. The angel came down, stirred up the water, but I don't have anyone to carry me into the pool. But before I could get there, someone else gets in before me. How does that translate into your life? What are your buts? What are your buts that keep you from living as wholeness? What are your buts? What is the story that you have been saying, that you have been believing for 38 years? Come on now. 30 years. No? 20 years? 5 years? What is the story that keeps you from rising up and living the life that was designed for you to live? The life that you said yes to, right? We need, this is just an invitation to put an end to the buts. Put an end to the buts in our life because our buts keep us stuck. I just realized that rhymes. Our butt keeps us stuck when we don't rise up. Jesus said, rise, carry your quilt. Rise up and carry your quilt. You are healed. And the man was healed immediately. Immediately. Because the wholeness was reactivated within him. Jesus didn't lay hands on him. Jesus didn't ask him for no story. Jesus didn't ask him about his mama, his father, his sister, his brother. Jesus didn't ask him how he got paralyzed. Jesus didn't ask him anything, just a question. Do you want to be healed? And the man said, yes, my Lord, but do you want to live your life? And we say, yes, but do you want to have a loving relationship? And we say, yes, but. So let us stop butting on ourselves. Yes? Let us stop butting on ourselves because we believe. What do we believe? We believe in the wholeness that we are already. We believe that we are whole, that we are complete. We say that I am whole, healthy, and complete. But do you really believe that? How does that show up in your life? Are you embracing the wholeness that you already are? Or are you talking about the conditions? Are you talking about what's happening in the world? Are you talking about what she did, he did? Are you talking about wholeness or are you talking about separation? So we get to choose. We get to make a choice. Jesus was saying to that man, stop acting like you don't know. Stop it. because you know. Stop acting like you don't know the goodness that you are. Stop acting like you ain't great. Stop acting like you ain't here for goodness. Get up. Get up. What are you waiting for? No one else can do our work for us. The man said he had no one to carry him into the pool to be healed. Guess what? No one can do that for you. We have to do our own work. We have to get ourselves back on the path if we feel like we have fallen short. So it's time to stand up, to rise up into the wholeness that we are. We need to remember because we forget. That man had forgotten for 38 years that he is whole. How much longer will you be in the forgetting instead of in the getting? It's time to get in. It's time for getting into the truth of who we are because nothing is missing. Jesus didn't have to do anything to that man. He didn't have to give him anything because Jesus knows that that man was whole, that nothing is missing. Nothing is missing in wholeness. Nothing is missing in oneness. Nothing is missing in me, and nothing is missing in you. So now is the time to stop paralyzing your life. And it is time to rise up and be the greatness that you already are, just as you are, as you are. So let us embrace that wholeness right now. The living arms of the Holy Spirit surrounds us, embraces us. Let us lean into those everlasting arms that holds us and strengthens us and supports us and is always embracing us just as we are. Let us just, oh, let us just take a breath. Take a breath with me. Take a breath in and out. And just allow yourself to feel the wholeness now. Smile and feel the wholeness embracing you now. And embrace it back. Embrace it back. So let us embrace the wholeness that we are. And I want to close this by sharing a practice that we can do to support us in remembering our wholeness, to remind us that we are living as wholeness now. We are paralyzed no more. We are stuck no more. It doesn't have to take another day for us to rise up in the wholeness that we are. So here's the practice. Practice remembering wholeness. And I want to share this quote from The Science of Mind text by Ernest Holmes. He wrote, if one would take time once a day at least to let go of all that is not true and laid hold of reality with a capital R, let go of doubt, distrust, worry, and condemnation and fear, and lay hold of life in its expression of beauty, truth, and wholeness, their mental congestion would be healed. One time a day, at least. I would recommend more than once a day to let go of all that is not true, all that no longer serves you, all that is complete, all that is not anymore, to let it go and to embrace the reality that you are whole just as you are. Letting go of doubt, distrust, worry, frustration, disappointments, people. Let it go, right? Let it go and embrace you as the expression of wholeness, a unique expression of wholeness now. So let us remember, because that mental congestion that Ernest Holmes was talking about is what keeps us paralyzed, is what keeps us stuck, is what keeps us from moving forward in the wholeness. It is the things that keep us from embracing our wholeness. It is time to avail ourselves to healing. It's time to rise up and be healed. The time of but is over. It's a wrap. All right, y'all. So, are you willing to embrace your wholeness now? Real question. Are you willing to embrace your wholeness now? You don't have to wait no more. So, if you're ready, stand up. Stand up, like for real, y'all. Stand up if you're ready to embrace your wholeness now. Stand up and say this affirmation with me. I am embracing my wholeness today. I am embracing my wholeness today. And say, I am whole. I am whole. Yes, you are. Peace and blessings, everyone. Peace and blessings.